Welcome to the Growth Buyer Podcast, where we engage with top business leaders who share their experiences and provide real insights that help them attract customers, retain staff, and grow their bottom line. Now, let's get started with the show. Hi there, I'm Marc Reifenrath, one of the hosts of Growth Buyer. This is a podcast where we focus on talking all about growing your business, whether that is discussing digital marketing or your culture. And really, we just want to help you get better every day. This episode is brought to you by Spinutech. Spinutech is a digital agency with a talented team of experts that help drive leads for your business. We help you accomplish your business goals and drive results to help you and your business grow. To learn more, go to spinutech.com. That's spinutech.com. Today, I have Chad Franzen here of Rise25, who has done hundreds of interviews with successful entrepreneurs and CEOs. And we flipped the script today, and he will be interviewing me. So with that, let's welcome Chad Franzen. Hey, Chad.
Hey, Mark. Thanks so much for having me today. It's great to talk to you. Hey, today I would love to talk more about kind of the questions that customers have for you as you start working with them. Tell me, when a potential client comes to you, what is often their situation? Is there a generic situation, or is everything different? Can you maybe sum one up or sum a couple of them up?
Yeah, I think if we had to boil it down to one particular thing, there's a problem. There's something that is not functioning the way that they want. It could be a big problem, it could be a small problem, but there's something that they're desiring to fix, and they're looking for that solution. And I think deep down they're hoping that somebody like us can solve that, and so there's a hope that they come to us with that we would be able to solve that problem for them.
So they've come to you looking to have a problem solved or looking for help solving a problem. What would you say are some of the top questions that they have in that aspect for you?
Yeah. So I think a lot of times it starts with them describing maybe their current state and what they're looking to improve upon, or maybe they're not sure if it can be improved upon. So they would go into the specifics of that. And from our perspective, we want to jump right into solving problems. And so if they can articulate that to us and let us kind of wrap our heads around it and ask a lot of questions and dig in there and really get down to it, that's where we love to go. And we also feel that really helps showcase our thinking and problem solving skills and what they would experience on a regular basis. So that's typically where it starts, but there's going to be lots of other questions too, just simply how do we work, what type of team members we have, what our expertise is. They may have concerns about, is that vertical specific, or are we generalists? So they're going to kind of really want to get to know the team that they might be working with as well as possible also.
So when they ask what kind of team members do you have, how do you answer that? How do you address their concerns with your team? Not that they have concerns, but how do you make them aware of the team members that you have?
Yeah. Something that we feel is a really big strength at Spinutech is we don't have generalists. We have team upon team of experts. And within those teams, let's take SEO, for example. So we've got a team of search engine optimization specialists, but within that team, we're going to have specialists that have a niche expertise. So there's lots of different flavors of SEO. We don't need to get into the technical categories of all that, but on-site, technical, off-site, localization, loosely things like that. We will tap the right person into the game, so to speak, depending on the specific problem that you have. So if somebody says, I have a localization problem with Google Maps or whatever it might be, we're going to pull those team members in to solve that problem for them. Whereas a lot of organizations or agencies would have people that, depending on what meeting they're walking into, their title might change or their focus area might change. And so this is an area where I like to say, the saying I use is, we do all the things that other agencies say they do. We actually do it and live it, though. And yes, that is more expensive for us to build out the team that way, but we believe that is going to drive better results for our clients, and that's going to win more clients over, keep them happier, grow their businesses, grow our business. It's a win-win.
So when a client comes to you and says, we have this problem, and it looks like Spinutech is the kind of company that can help us solve this problem, but they say, and then you say, yeah, we certainly can. And they say, well, are you going to do what you say you're going to do? And how do I know that?
Yeah. I think that, one, we're not afraid to let you talk to our existing clients. And I think what you're hitting on is I always challenge clients to the number one decision they have to make in choosing a new agency or a new partner like this is exactly that. It's the partner. Make the decision on the partner first, and a lot of other things will fall into place. So if you trust that we can deliver on that, so what you're saying, are we going to do what we say we're going to do? Do you truly believe we can be that partner? Do you trust us? Is there this feeling of trust? Are our core values aligned? Are our cultures aligned? Because that can sometimes cause things to get off a little bit. So talking to past clients, we've got no problems there. Results speak very loudly, and we're winners. We win for our clients. We've got a lot of great stories to share on that. And so I think when we talk to clients, this just happened actually in a pitch where they gave us a business on the fly, basically. And they did that because it wasn't just one example or one buzzword or anything. Like, it was body blow after body blow of how we were showcasing what we've done, but also what we're going to do for them, and going deeper than most agencies would probably go in that initial pitch to show them exactly the opportunities that we and our team saw. And so that just builds that instant trust very quickly, where they're showing exactly how we're going to work and deliver.
So when you say, it sounds like when you say choose the right partner, you view your clients as more than just, a one-time customer service type job.
100%. Something that I would commonly say in those situations is, listen, we just want to get in the door, get started, prove ourselves to you, and we'll grow the relationship from there. I'm more concerned about the conversations we're going to be having 5 years from now than trying to get just a sale right now. If that's not good for either of us, if we are misaligned, or we're not a good fit, or you're not a good fit for us, and we force that, that's going to create a lot of pain for both organizations that we would wish we wouldn't have had to gone through. So truly finding that right partnership is very, very critical from our perspective.
What is it about the culture at Spinutech that kind of leads towards these long-term, 5-year relationships, things like that?
Transparency is key to that. We, when we make a mistake, we're going to own it. We're going to point it out. We like to fail fast. So I think a lot of people tend to try to hide their failures or things that have gone wrong. We think those are opportunities. So when something hasn't worked as expected, you go, hey, look, what we thought was going to do this didn't. Now we know that. Let's not make that mistake again. So with the best thing with digital marketing is you can iterate very, very quickly, and you can make those changes very, very quickly. That's why it's so powerful. So transparency is really critical. And if you do have a good partnership, then when we do make mistakes, which all humans do, then we can just go and say, hey, here's the problem. Here's what we did. Here's how we're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. And let's all learn from it and move on. So fail, first attempt in learning. And so let's use those as opportunities and move forward.
Are there other questions that customers have that you've found are common when they come to you?
Yeah, I think, obviously there's perspectives and how we met, and, if they were introduced from somebody that we know mutually, that always helps. But at the end of the day, they want to know that we're going to do what we say we're going to do. Pricing is always a concern. And so, we want to make sure we're delivering value for what we're bringing. And so we talk through that and how we work. And that's different for every client, depending on what their needs are, what actions we're going to be doing on a monthly basis, or however that's going to work with them. But again, I like the questions that really revolve around how we're going to work together. What is, so a lot of times they're curious about what our team structure will look like for their account. We love that. We're say, hey, we've already put together kind of a sample of what that would look like in that structure. What's your team going to look like? We need to be asking a lot of questions back too. So when they get into questions about communication and team structure, reporting, what's the monthly reporting cadence, those types of things, it's probably like a subset of questions about partnership, in my opinion, that they tend to go to, whether they would label them that or not. That's the next series that I'd love to get into.
Is there something about the communication that you can describe? Like, how does the communication work between you and a partner, or you and a client?
Mm-hmm.
Is it we talk when things come up, or we have regular meetings? How does that work?
Yeah, so there's always going to be like a regular cadence of meetings for reporting and touch bases and all those things. But I know where we are the most successful is where you're not locked down to thinking that that's the only time you can talk. We want our clients to have that freedom of, I've got an idea, or there's a problem I need solved, or there's something I feel like the team that I work with at Spinutech needs to know. Just reach out, shoot an email, set up a meeting, call, text, or whatever. Let's get that freedom of information flowing back and forth so that we can solve those problems. We need to know their business not as well as they do, but as close to that as we can get, so that we have this nice ping pong back and forth and can make an idea go better, better, better by that constant feedback and communication. So yeah.
Have there been any misconceptions maybe that customers have had when you first start working with them that you've had to adjust?
One of our promises internally is we always tell new team members, like, in the past, I'm sure you've been in a situation where you're working and a client says, oh, well, Marc promised blah, blah, blah in the sales process. Because a lot of people promise things in the sales process that maybe aren't exactly the way that they do things. We don't do that. We're going to be very clear about how we do things. If that means we're going to lose that opportunity, we'd lose it. But sometimes clients remember all the best things from the pitch process from every agency and then put that all onto the agency that they selected. So sometimes we have to just kind of do a little bit of correcting there of like, here's how we would look at that and think about it. And we'll stand strong to what we know we believe in and what we've said. But that's pretty quick where we get through those things. It's really not a problem once we get over that.
As we kind of wrap things up here, you mentioned that pricing kind of is always a concern, probably from anybody naturally. How do you justify your pricing? Maybe it's more than your competitors. Maybe it's less than your competitors. And sometimes those things can say different things about you. How do you kind of justify your pricing?
Listen, like I said, we're winners. We deliver results. And so I tell our team we should be able to defend our value at any point in time. If we're delivering on the results, and part of that is also with the client, we've got to have agreed upon KPIs, success metrics, whatever the goals we're working towards. If those are aligned and we're mutually agreed upon them, now we're very transparently walking towards what that looks like. And if we're achieving that, the value should be there. And we do want to have, and maybe another way to look at it is we want to ensure that there is an ROI on the dollars being spent with us. So whatever you're paying with us, do you feel good about that? Which is very subjective, but the ROI of it oftentimes may be harder to be subjective about it. We bring in X dollars and it costs this per lead. If that math equation works for you, that should be a celebration. And then it kind of becomes a math problem of let's try to break that. Let's keep putting more money into it until that math equation no longer works for the ROI side of it. But we know where that line is, and then you keep optimizing to try to make it better. So I would just say it all comes down to justifying the value of what we're charging.
Okay, Marc. Is there anything else we should know or anything else your customers should know based on questions that you often receive?
I mean, nobody's got it perfect. It's hard to ask all the right questions. It's like speed dating oftentimes. So feel free we try to be as transparent as we can. Ask us any questions. We've got nothing to hide. We're just there to build that partnership and make sure that we're both getting off on the right steps. So don't feel like any question is a dumb question or a bad question. Don't feel like you have to act smarter than us. It's okay. Like there's areas you're smarter than us and there's areas that our team's going to be smarter, and that's what you're paying us for. So we've got to, set our egos aside and let's ask all questions and any questions and get to the root of it and build a partnership.
Okay. Awesome. Sounds great. Hey, Marc, it's been great talking to you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chad.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Growth Fire podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.